Okay, welcome to lesson 3. This one is about vagus nerve, which, if you see in the news or any of the health stuff, like on social media and stuff, vagus nerve is a hot topic. It's been more recently studied and discovered in the last couple of years. So there's a lot of people that are targeting it because it actually works really well. We're going to dive into some ways that you can do it by yourself. You will find like vagus nerve stimulators and stuff, like vibrators that sit on your neck or your chest or stuff like that. I haven't tried any, but what I know about the system and the way that it works and the way that the stimulators work, they should work just fine. They probably work very well, actually. But they can be kind of clunky, bulky, and they're usually pretty expensive. So the cool thing about everything that I'm about to show you is stuff you can do by yourself for free. But if you are interested in one of those, the more, the devices that help with this, please give them a try. But I would suggest at least trying these first to see if interacting with your vagus nerve actually helps you and your body reacts to it well. And if it's something that you actually really enjoy and get a lot of good benefits from, then maybe go try one of the professional devices. But what the vagus nerve is it's a nerve system that runs from your brain primarily down to your stomach. But it branches out and it touches most of your major organs. It's one of, if not the primary nerve that runs your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest, your calm side of your nervous system. The one that, as you've probably already heard me say 10 times, is the one that we're always trying to activate. And if you haven't heard me say it 10 times, you will. Very important, and again, this is some really good techniques on how you can activate it and interact with it through more physical stuff. So the two easiest kind of ways to do it is you can do pressure or vibration, because it runs around your neck, through your throat. So I will go through and show you a couple different ways that you can activate it. So the first one is, again, it runs along both sides of your throat, kind of behind your veins. And so if you hum and you can vibrate your larynx, that vibration will interact with that nerve and it triggers it on. And when it gets activated, it turns on that parasympathetic nervous system and helps calm you down. So the easiest, best way to do it is if you do 5 to 10 cycles, just hum as long as is comfortable. You don't need to go crazy long on the breath, try to pass out any of the fun stuff. Just do it for what's comfortable, but mouth closed, low pitched, long exhale, and just and you should be able to feel that vibration sitting in your throat. The nice thing is it is quiet enough that you can, do it at work if you have a private office, stuff like that. You can do it in your car. Obviously, you can do it at home. It works very well. There's lots of places where you can hum without it being, distracting or intrusive to other folks. Another way that you can do the same thing without humming is water gargling. So like, if you gargle your mouth after you brush your teeth, stuff like that. I'll be honest, this one doesn't get used a whole lot by most folks for obvious reasons. It's a little awkward, but it is really, really effective. And if you're like in the shower or something like that, and you notice you're getting stressed, you can throw some of the water in your mouth, gargle it out for a couple minutes while you're in the shower. It really helps calm you back down. The other kind of more socially acceptable one, depending on where you're at, is singing. If you can, again, any vibration in the throat is going to trigger that nerve up there. So if you like to sing, if you're a long singer, ask your buddies out for a karaoke night, and you can go calm yourself down while you're hanging out and singing to Garth Brooks. But any way, anyhow that you want to do it, sing in the shower, it's up to you. Sing in the car. But any of those vibrations, whether it's just humming, gargling, or singing, that gets that deep, and you should be able to feel it in your throat. And you can get it activated for a couple minutes. It'll trip that nerve and it'll help calm you back down. So for those people that don't like to hum or sing, myself being one, there's a couple other ways that you can activate the nerve too, where you don't have to do stuff throughout your throat. So the two other ways, well, there's a few other ways, but the other two ways that I'm going to show you is there's a spot right at the base of where your clavicles, where your collarbones meet, right at the top of your sternum. And there's a spot in your ear, and I'll go over them a little bit more in detail. But you don't have to do this, but it's kind of a bonus tip. Right behind your jaw and kind of up under your ear, if you poke around in there just a little bit, you don't have to push super hard or anything like that, just light medium pressure. If it feels puffy or if it feels tender, there's a lymph node in there that can get kind of swelled up. If that's the case, that pressure is going to be sitting on your nerve and it's going to kind of mess with you. So if you feel right there before you start any of this and it feels kind of tender or puffy, you can sit there and just kind of run your fingers behind your ear and your jaw down towards your throat and down into your collarbone. And what you're doing is just kind of working that lymph, that fluid that's up in that little sac right there, and kind of getting it out of the way. And once it feels calm, less tender, less puffy, then if you try these techniques after that blockage, that pressure is going to be off your nerve, your vagus nerve, and these will work a little bit better. So the two ways to do it is, again, you'll see where your collarbones come together. Right there in the middle, there's a little divot, and then you got the depth of your bones. So it's like almost like a little shelf, kind of right there. And you can sit there and just kind of tap, push, gentle massage. Nothing super crazy. You shouldn't be poking yourself in the throat. Just light to medium pressure. You should be able to feel it, but it shouldn't be uncomfortable at all. And you just sit there and kind of work that spot for at least 2 minutes. If you've noticed watching the other stuff, 2 minutes is kind of what it takes to get that nervous system to really react to whatever you're doing and get a trigger on. The third one through the ear is you have your ear canal, and then you have like a little crease, and then you have a big fold towards the top of your ear. And you're kind of going right in between that crease and that fold. There's a little like pocket. And the same thing, it's just a light massage, kind of wiggle it around, touch it, massage it, poke it a little bit. Again, pressure, nothing crazy. But you want to do that for about 2 minutes. And then that spot in your ear and that spot at the base of your throat are both physical points where you can actually interact with that nerve and get it to activate. So, quick recap, easiest ways to do it: vibration through the throat, whether you hum, gargle, or sing, or for some reason you're just not comfortable with that, or you're someplace where it needs to be quiet. You can do the same thing, but massage that little spot, that little shelf right there at the base of your throat, or right in between the fold of your ear. And either ear works. I hope these help. Enjoy, and I will see you for the next resource.